Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them, episode 186. I, of course, am your host and only host, Jessi Smiles. I thought at one point I did have another host, but I don't see anybody.
I'm still here.
Oh, you scared me. You gave me a fright. That was good. Did we do good? You're like distant, still here.
Guys, I'm pretty sure this is my best costume yet.
If you guys don't know the running joke on this podcast, Lily is the forgotten one in all of our controversies, and it was only fitting in an episode where we address one of our controversies that, she's just who she really is, which is the other girl, non-existent, Bruce Willis.
Jessi sees dead people, so she actually just found out, she's the only one that can see me.
Exactly. You right now are, it's like a full circle final form, and I love it. You've really become who you are.
I do have a nice glow about me.
I love it. So anyway, that's the explanation there. I swear, if anyone clowns me for this wig, I'm gonna lose my marbles.
Yeah, what are you?
Thank you for asking. I am Mother Gothel. I am the wicked witch mother who stole Rapunzel, and it's also only fitting that I'm a wicked witch because apparently that's what I am in real life too.
Well, for different reasons.
Yeah.
Both because we're witches, but then also because apparently you're a wicked witch.
Yeah, but this is the wig I was talking about that was like my worst wig. It is Disney brand, bitch. This is Disney brand, this is Disney brand, and this is their best work. What can I tell you? I mean, I can't do much.
I feel like Disney should have good work.
It's horrible. It's itchy. I feel like your unknown wig was better, but you know what? We're gonna just slay with what we have. It is so interesting that we have to talk about everything we have to talk about in this episode while we look like this, but that makes sense for us, I feel, at this point. It's just,
I have to say, though, I am the most comfortable I've been thus far.
Oh, I'm happy for you. I am so itchy.
Yes, thanks to the person that suggested, they didn't suggest this exactly, but they just said, you should be a green screen and just not be there. I'm like, well, I can arrange
do something like that, yeah. So we have a lot to cover in this episode, including a lot of allegations one can say about us being less than savory human beings, and we will get to that, and we will go in depth, and we're gonna have a chat, girlies. But before we do, we cannot let that taint something super amazing. We're so excited to finally announce that our Patreon is live, baby. It is live right now. Woo!
Unlike me.
Yeah, unlike Lily, you can see it, you can feel it, it's there. We're calling it our Other Girlies membership. We thought that was, quite fitting. You guys can all be other girls with Lily and myself.
But yeah, so we are officially live. You can visit it by going to patreon.com/doweknowthem, and you can officially become one of the other girlies.
So if you guys remember a few weeks back or a month now, we did ask you guys to participate in a survey, and a lot of you did, and it helped us gather a lot of insight on what we wanted to include in our membership because we wanted to make sure that it was content you wanted to see.
Yeah, it's very much catered to you guys. So throughout this process, as we get launched, continue to give us your ideas because we want it to be something that you actually want to be a part of.
We do have 2 tiers. We have a $5 tier that is called Clout Goblin, which is just, we didn't plan that, bitch. That was the name from before. I swear on everything. And then the top tier is $10, and that's the Diabolical tier. So we'll explain how everything works and what each tier includes, and then we'll give you a little look now at the membership just for, let you know what's there. See if you want to take a little peek.
And also, I do want to throw out there before anyone gets upset if they maybe can't join at the moment and become one of those other girlies, that's okay. We are still going to be here twice a week. And it's just going to be additional content.
We are going to be offering bonus episodes over there, but that is going to be completely separate content that is separate from the show. It's going to be either random things or additional topics that we're not going to cover here, but we're not purposefully not covering things just to put it on our Patreon,
just would have never gotten the chance to live.
Exactly. It's just more of us, not less of us here if you can't afford a tier, because we understand not everybody can. Let's talk about the tiers really quick so that you can just get an overview of what we're going to offer to each tier. If you are a Clout Goblin, which again is a $5 a month tier, you're going to get 1 bonus episode. So this is going to be 1 exclusive extra episode, and it's not going to be the length of our episodes on this channel, but it is going to be a nice size, where they're not going to be 5-minute bonus episodes. We're sitting down, we're talking, it's the format of the show. It's just going to be a kind of snack size of what we do here, which is talk for 2 hours. I mean, guys, we need to
I was going to say, okay, that's code for it just isn't going to be 2 hours.
Yeah,
it'll still be a good amount. It'll be longer than a TV show.
Yes, we're going to be sharing behind the scenes photos and videos. So I had a lot of fun gathering these, honestly. It's everything from me waiting for Lily to join the Zoom to when I first saw her as the unknown was one of my favorites. But we just have a few fun things. Also, maybe there will be a shit ton of behind the scenes from the Sabrina Carpenter tour. I don't know. definitely there will be. Maybe we'll be drunk. Probably.
There could be that. Also, I've shared on the show before, and I feel like you guys always like it when I show some of the behind the scenes text message conversations between us.
Yep, you'll get those in the Clout
I'm going to be
Goblin tier
including
too.
some of those. Also, by popular demand, pictures of my dog.
Yeah, of course. Weekly polls will also be included in this tier, and we had fun making these too. Some of them are ridiculous, but some of them are going to be things that we actually, we may even ask you about merch and your opinion on things that we're actively making decisions on, which will be really fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're not ridiculous.
Yours are something. And then we also are going to have a private chat for our community. It's not as weird as it sounds, I promise. It's kosher. It's honestly just a place where the dedicated girlies can go meet, connect, talk about the show, or you can talk about drama, life, advice. Sometimes we will pop in there. Like, it's just a place for all of us to kind of hang out. And then you will get first access to literally everything. So when we drop merch, upcoming projects, updates, and more, and we have some really fucking cool shit that is happening to us that we cannot believe is our life. And you guys will be the first over there to know. Again, if you can't afford this, like, we are going to tell you guys, we can't keep secrets, but like, you guys over there on the Patreon are going to get first access to literally everything. And then the diabolical tier, which is $10 a month, and that's the highest tier, includes everything that the Clout Goblin tier includes, obviously, but you get 2 bonus episodes a month, and you get extra content extras, which could be everything from like us doing vlogs, reviews on products.
Kind of reminiscent of the stuff we, used to do on our personal channels before we abandoned them. A perfect example is one that I just filmed, which I feel like you guys are going to enjoy, or at least my chain restaurant girlies are going to enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
I reviewed Texas Roadhouse has frozen rolls now in the freezer section of Walmart. So I tried those. Eventually, there might be a mac and cheese review.
It's about time. And then lastly, you guys will get member-only submissions. So you can have hot takes, questions, ask for advice, and then be featured in the content that we are putting up there.
There's also like a bunch of cool like audio features. So like you guys can ask us stuff and then we can do like kind of like an audio
Go
chat
in and
back.
Answer you. And yeah, in general, the diabolical tier is just going to have more opportunity to kind of like interact with us in that way. So I'm excited to answer questions after a few
you guys know we have lots of opinions.
Yeah. And honestly, I am just very excited to have a place where our content cannot be taken down or demonetized. This is also a place where this is going to be for both tiers, to upload any episodes that we have to mute a bunch of words. That is going to go unmuted onto Patreon so that you can experience the full episode without us being like, and it's like literally like we're just like muted the entire time.
Also, it'll be perfect for situations like when we cover someone named it rhymes with Mr. Yeast, and I know that I was a poor choice. Literally, when I went to upload our last episode, I looked our last episode on him demonetized.
Oh yeah, Lily just texted me last night. We got fucking demonetized. I'm like,
there's definitely nothing in it, but specifically, we can avoid any of those situations where they literally took it down before it even went live
and flagged our channel, which we still have a content warning on.
Yeah, we do. I think we're supposed to go to a class, but I don't want to.
A class? Not us having to do like freaking like
it's like traffic school.
What the fuck? I don't want anybody to feel like they have to join in order to be a part of our community. As you know, the girly community is strong, bitch. We ride no matter what.
There might not be 2 million of us, but
our little tiny community is still worth something. But I just am excited to have that extra space, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to interact with some of you guys over there. So for those of you that have been wanting us to do a membership and support us in that way, we are so grateful that words cannot describe it. I have no words. And that's rare.
Also, I want to throw out there for anyone that's like, yeah, right, you guys are not going to follow through with this, and you're not going to be on time, and blah, blah, blah. No. So that was why we didn't do it before, because we agreed. But we have found someone, our little secret puppet string master behind the scenes, and shout out to him because he's keeping us on track, and we're already very much on schedule, unlike our uploads as of late, which has
our uploads
nothing
are
to do with any of
completely
that.
in our hands, and that's why they're a fucking disaster. And this is going to be in his hands.
Adobe.
So he told us what he needed to make this successful, and he's like, you guys need to make this much content. And we're like, okay, we can do that. And now we have it, and we're going to continue to have it ahead of schedule, and there will never be a day that we like upload late for our bonus episode. That doesn't exist on this. Okay, we're on a tight ship. All right, I don't think that's the saying. On a tight ship.
We run a tight ship.
Period.
But yeah, you don't have to worry. We're not worried. We're not worried. You shouldn't be worried.
We're not worried. I'm not worried. Are you worried?
No, not at all.
And also, just the fact that this is launching right close to when Lily is coming to the concert, I'm like, oh, it was meant to be, girly. We are going to have so much content up on there of just our trip. And I'm just excited.
You guys, we haven't taken a picture together or seen each other.
Forever.
2 different dates. I think we haven't taken a picture together since like 2018, and we haven't seen each other since 2019. That's 5 years.
But anyway, if you guys want to go check out the membership and see if you would like to sign up, if you do, thank you so much. It helps us out so much. You can go and do that over at patreon.com/doweknowthem, like it's been up on the screen this entire time. But if you're an audio listener, there you go. You could just type that right on in and you'll see the other girlies and we're officially live. Thank you guys so much for just allowing us to even make this happen, because without your community, this would not be a thing.
And I just hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we're going to.
Okay.
Anyway, speaking of clout goblins.
Okay. A lot has happened. If you guys don't know, we did a podcast on the whole rug buried in the backyard situation. Just saying that tagline, a lot of you probably know what we're talking about. It was everywhere. And as we were watching and reacting to these clips, we had pretty strong opinions, some could say, on the person who was documenting this whole rug buried in the backyard situation.
Mostly her behavior during the documentation of this whole rug thing.
So we had a lot of opinions on not this person that we're going to talk about, which her name is Katie Santry, and she's the person who found the rug in her backyard. We had a lot of opinions of the way that she handled documenting this process. We found her tactless. We found her disrespectful. We found her to be
clout goblin-y.
Clout goblin-y. Yeah, I was going to try to find another,
which, just for context sake, I have looked up the Urban Dictionary definitions of clout goblin. Because I feel like it gets kind of lost in translation sometimes, We're never saying, by the way, that being a clout goblin, it's not a crime.
No. We literally said, and we can just put that clip right on in here. I said, it is not a crime. We're just clocking it. If she wasn't chasing fame, if she wasn't chasing clout, which again, it's not a crime. We're just clocking it. It is what it is.
I was talking to my mom about it and she said something like, is being a clout goblin a crime? I said, no, it's just tacky.
Because it's a behavior thing. It's tactless. Yes. It feels like you're trying to get attention by any means necessary. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you get drunk on the attention Kool-Aid.
So much that you maybe, your perceptions get skewed, your ethics are blurred.
Exactly. One definition says that it is a person who is in search of internet notoriety through any means necessary. This person will attach themselves to reputable people in order to gain more popularity, or an event of some kind. It doesn't always have to be people. That's not what we're talking about in this situation. But I do think it's relevant because this will come into play later, that it also says they can provoke drama or suck up to gain followers or subscribers. Interesting. But also I prefer the other definition that says a rare subspecies of the goblin genus who focus solely on acquiring clout or notoriety instead of typical goblin resources like gold or jewels.
Well, the reason why we're talking about any of this is because our main critique of this woman was multiple things. Obviously, it was the way she handled the situation. And what we mean by that is that she did not know that there was not a dead body buried in her backyard in that rug. She didn't know that. Actually, quite the opposite. Even though she said multiple times, like, I hope there's not a dead body. The main appeal of the situation was that something was there because 2 cadaver dogs sat down. So there very well could have been remains, which is literally what the cadaver dogs were like smelling for, and that's scary. And we didn't like the way that she was acting in regards to a situation that could have been a true crime situation. I think that documenting something that could be a true crime situation is very, very delicate, and we don't want to set a precedence where everyone goes on TikTok live every night and spills every detail. That's not smart when it comes to things like that. But that was just one issue. We also had an issue with the fact that she was really insensitive about her neighbor who had passed away. We said on multiple occasions—
and continues to be.
Literally, yeah. We said on multiple occasions that she was extremely rude in the way she described her elderly neighbor who passed away. She said that she had no family. That was what the cops told her. And so she had nobody better to haunt. That's literally what she said. And so of course she would come for me and just haunt me. And that's why all of this is happening.
Potentially, if the rug happens to not have a dead body, fingers fucking crossed, is it the neighbor? Is it my dead neighbor that died the day I moved into this house, mind you? Dead neighbor dies the day I move into this house. The day they're boarding up her house, my computer gets shattered. And she has no family. She has no one better to haunt.
She was an elderly woman, and like, if we want to just be for real about it and let's be humans and let's not be bullies and mean and tactless, then let's talk about the fact that she was probably alone because most of the people she knew in her life had died because she was old. Like, that's the sad reality that a lot of people face. But even if that wasn't true and she was someone who lived a difficult life and was by herself, does she deserve to be spoken about in that matter? If that was my grandma, that would literally have ruined me.
She really detached herself from any of the humanity behind anyone that might have been involved.
Yes.
First of all, the ghost of the next door neighbor, sorry, I don't believe that they were haunting her.
Obviously
Agree
not.
to disagree. She was sensationalizing it because she was like playing it up for the people that do either believe that or just like really into true crime, which we've talked about in the past. This is not a new thing that we have a brand new opinion on. We don't like how people separate themselves from true crime while taking advantage and exploiting the stories of the people involved.
We've literally always said that. Like, this is not an us against her thing. It's something that has always kind of just sat with me the wrong way, especially because there's well-documented evidence from family members of deceased siblings, wives, spouses, all of that shit, who are talking about how damaging it can be when people run to social media to try to cover something, quote unquote, or make a spectacle, is what they believe it is, of their loved one's life. Like, that's very, very damaging, both to the loved ones of those family members and to the cases themselves. So you have to be very careful when you're covering things. And the reason we're talking about this is, like, Katie has literally hinted that she would love to do a true crime podcast. Please don't.
You're not an expert. You yourself have said this is the first time you've even, like, dipped your toe in this kind of content.
It's not even just about not being an expert. It's about, you need to have a certain level of tact. You just need to have it. And, like, maybe with time you can build yourself up to understanding the actual empathy and, like, sitting with things and not social media first and then thinking later that it takes to cover true crime, which is why, like, I've done one true crime thing on my channel and I just couldn't do it. It was like first of all, it's very difficult. It's like, it literally makes you feel sick.
Also, I do want to say that true crime and, like, the very much, like, epidemic of it really taking off with Netflix docuseries and stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and tell anyone that if they enjoy true crime, then they're a monster.
Horrible.
Absolutely not. I literally am someone that used to watch a ton of true crime.
Me too.
But I do think it's important for us to kind of self-reflect and realize what maybe we're enjoying that we should look at from another perspective and see why maybe that's not that enjoyable, or maybe that's not very appropriate.
Yeah, I used to literally fall asleep to true crime podcasts.
It's a thing that you're going to learn over time, and I don't expect everyone to be like, yes, this is bad, this is good, but it felt like a lot of people were telling her the way she was handling it could be really harmful, and she was just ignoring it.
Yeah, so we had that issue with it. And then along the way, some of the other things she said just sat like a fucking cheesy gordita crunch in my tummy. Like, I literally just, like, heard her say some of these jokes and I was like, ew. Like, that's what I thought. I was disgusted by some of the things she said. And I really was. Like, it was obvious when I heard
also,
it.
Though, but this might be a good time to bring up why we're talking about this. We're not just here to, like, literally recap the entire last episode, because you can just go watch that.
Sorry, guys. We got called out. That's why we're here.
Yeah, it turns out that you girlies were not the only ones to watch that episode, because it turns out Katie tuned in for the entire hour and a half, which she reiterates several times that we spent an hour and a half talking about her.
Seems like masochistic, but you know what? Period.
Yeah, I was going to say,
not something I would do.
People have made hour-long videos on us before. I did not watch 5 minutes of it.
No, I've ignored a lot of videos on the internet in my day, and it's something you've got to do. And girl, I suggest you do it. But you're probably watching this, which honestly, I'm glad you are, because what Katie has accused us of and why we're here talking about this, she has literally accused us of bullying her, about lying about her, about spreading misinformation, about ignoring DMs because we don't care about facts or anything. She has run with, this narrative that, one thing Lily and I are going to do is we're just going to shut our little peepers. We're going to think, because we've been in this for a long time, girly. We've been on this for a decade now in this career. So we're not going to run to TikTok Live and start talking about you. We're really going to, first of all, reflect, understand if we hurt this person. Why did we hurt this person? Was it something we still kind of stand by? Is it not? Because there's a lot of times we backtracked on this show. Like, it's kind of just part of the show.
Yeah, well, and I'm like, my immediate reaction when someone says that we made them cry because we were bullying them.
Yeah.
I literally sat there. I was like, holy shit, what did we say? Are you what? Thinking we must have done something wrong. And then I continued to rack my brain, and I was like, don't get me wrong. I would not expect her to sit down and watch that episode and be like, this is great.
It wasn't a raving review. It wasn't a raving review, and I don't expect her to like it.
But it also was not a scathing, disgusting, bullying, like, yes, we joked around. We're pretty unserious most of the time, but also we had some valid criticism that we still have.
Oh, well, she stands by the fact that we had 0 valid criticisms, which is why we're going back into why we had criticisms of her. Because although we can kiki it up, you were, Katie, I'm speaking to you, you were extremely problematic in the way that you handled the rug situation. Period, point blank. And a lot of people agree on that. And some people are, in my opinion, so desensitized by true crime because of creators like yourself and other creators, it's not just you, that they loved your series and they saw nothing wrong with it. And I do look at that as a byproduct of true crime as a whole and what it's done to people's minds, where it's just like, well, what's the big deal? Like, her selling merch, which was another issue we had, her selling merch with a skull and a shovel through it, her selling merch that says mom, shit, and murder is disgusting.
It was mom and murder stuff, I believe.
All of that, it just is tactless. It lacks empathy. And it was gross. That's what I personally believed. Your actions were shitty and we called them out. We clocked it. We did call you a clout goblin because I do Your excitement was uncanny to me personally. I saw her excitement and it was a bit much. Like, I haven't seen someone that giddy over a series or anything in a long time. And obviously was the attention fueling that. And I was like, ooh, clout goblin, I smell it. And then we started joking about it because we do joke about it, which is why our freaking Patreon tier is called Clout Goblin, like Monty Lopez, it should have been called. But like, you know what I mean?
It's been an ongoing like inside joke with our viewers since the very beginning of the podcast, which was over 2 years ago now. But also, that episode, again, not expecting you to be a big fan now and tune in for every episode because you loved us. But to not acknowledge that we were giving criticisms and that the entire thing was our opinion. We weren't like reporting these facts like, she did this, she did not do this. And on that note, I want to say that when I heard that she said we were spreading lies, I was like, what? Like, what
did we even say as definite facts?
You know, I don't like being wrong. I like to do my research. So I was like, oh my God, one of the lies that was brought to my attention, apparently, it's that I had said that to get the cadaver dogs to mark on the spot where the rug was buried, that she had pricked her finger and used her own blood to trigger the dogs. And to that, I just want to say, oh my God, was it not clear that that was a very obvious joke? Because
maybe they
I was
don't know
giggling.
us, but also we were cackling. Like, we were absolutely having the giddiest moment because that is the dumbest shit ever. And even when I said, oh, allegedly, no, that's definitely what happened.
I was being sarcastic. Like, you didn't possibly think we were actually telling people that that was what happened. Like, had we believed that that happened, the entire episode would have been different.
Actually, I would love to roll back that clip a second.
I just had a thought.
What is it?
What if
she
like pricked her finger?
I was supposed to say pricked her finger like Little Shop of Horrors and just like squeezed it everywhere. No, but I think that they're specifically, it's not blood. I think they are like dead body dogs.
It is.
Oh, it's blood?
No, the police say blood.
No.
Because that's what they keep referencing, a nosebleed.
Oh my God. Oh, that's what she did, allegedly, but absolutely.
They Googled it before they found out cadaver dogs were coming. Like, what do they smell for?
Shut the
I'm not really saying that happened, but I wouldn't doubt it.
But like, no, because imagine then they see her blood, let's say, or maybe she just put one drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that's the thing, is the biggest thing about cadaver dogs is like they can smell a drop of blood when it's underground. So it's like, and like it's in dirt, you wouldn't be able to see it.
That would be a level of clout goblin-y that CCR would quake at. Like, that is seriously just another world. I would be so shocked.
Like, I'm not accusing her of doing that.
But we're just exploring, just like she explored
I'm just
several
exploring the
theories.
options. She's a big theory girl.
Yeah,
so.
we're just looking into it. But before we continue, we really quickly want to thank today's sponsor, and that's Uncommon Goods.
Are you guys ready to spark something uncommon this holiday season? With some incredible hand-picked gifts from Uncommon Goods, because they have you covered.
They make your holiday shopping stress-free by scouring the globe for original, handmade, and absolutely remarkable things for everyone on your list. There are so many fun things to choose from. I personally got a cocktail advent calendar. I got the vodka or champagne one, so you can make a cocktail with each. And this one is delicious. It's partridge in a pear tree themed, and it's got honey, pear, and lychee, I think, and they're these little cubes you just drop into your champagne, and it's delicious. I love it. And honestly, Uncommon Goods is the perfect place to go to if you just have that one person that you're shopping for that you're like, what do I get you? Like, why are you so hard to shop for? That's where they come in.
It's like random things you never thought you needed, and then you're like, never mind. Needed it my whole life.
And something super cool about Uncommon Goods is that they give back $1 to a nonprofit of your choice with every purchase. And with this program, they have donated over $3 million to date, which is amazing.
And also, if you buy from them, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses.
So if you want to get 15% off your next gift, just head over to uncommongoods.com/DWKT.
That's uncommongoods.com/DWKT for 15% off.
Don't miss out on this limited time offer, and thank you so much to Uncommon Goods for sponsoring this episode. As you can see, we literally clarified a million times. You said, I doubt that's what happened. I said, I don't think that's what happened. We said that even on top of our joke. And she has gone around, and we're going to get into everything, girl. We have her live recordings, screen recorded. The girlies were pumping up the email.
Quite a few things. We haven't seen it firsthand because we were blocked.
Okay, that's a big issue. So you know what? I want to do this. I want to watch her TikTok that was calling us out, and then we can go from there because there's a lot to cover.
I just wanted to come on here really quickly and let you know that what you will never see on my page is being really fucking mean, spreading misinformation, spreading lies, and making a random 34-year-old mom in Ohio cry. I just had the pleasure of watching an hour and a half podcast of these two really, really kind girls talk about me and call me a clout goblin about 765 times. What I find to be ironic is that they have an hour and a half podcast talking about me. So who is the one chasing the clout here?
I'm referring to everybody we've ever covered that has an issue with what we're covering, which again, we don't expect people to love when we have an opinion that's negative about them. I mean, duh, you guys are human beings. You're not going to like it. But do all of you get together and decide that our biggest issue is like, we are chasing clout by covering you? I like genuinely don't know if they know what a commentary channel is. I just want to say really quick, lowest performing episode this month. No, yeah, honestly, I feel like this sentiment is really weird because it just negates commentary channels as a whole. We don't choose what's going to perform the best. We choose what we want to talk about and what we're going to have an opinion on because that's what our viewers tune in for. If you read any of our comments, and this is not like to freaking tickle my own pickle, it just is the truth that people, yes, some of them are interested in what's happening on the internet. A lot of people just want to hear our opinions on anything.
I was just going to say, which back to the whole, oh, you talked about us for an hour and a half. Yeah, girly, we've also talked about eggs for 15 minutes.
Eggs for 15 minutes. The, what was it? A happy birthday Trilby sprinkle cake. That was like a whole episode. Like, girly, we could talk about
really
anything.
Go off on pretty much anything. We really like to yap.
And you posted a lot of TikToks for us to react to. So like, you know, it took us a long time to get to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a fellow yapper, I feel like you would understand that. But sure. We definitely use you for clout.
Yeah. And again, lowest performing episode, not even trying to be like nasty there. It's just like none of our topics, it's very rare that a specific topic will get us more views. Like it's just really, they're all kind of the same. They average
Unless it's
out.
like Clinton Kane. No, but literally we're pretty consistent across our views regardless of what we cover. It could be someone that no one's ever heard of, or it could be someone huge. And we don't choose accordingly. We just are picking what we find interesting.
And I want to be really clear. There have been many topics we have covered of both women and men who the internet felt one way and we felt very polar opposite. The reinventing Elizabeth one is a perfect example where like people were ripping her to shreds. And we were like, you guys are being horrible to this woman.
Let's let her continue because she goes into how we tear women down.
Yeah, sorry, got carried away.
I don't know, but I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me. I sent a lovely DM asking to send them screenshots so that I can prove all of their lies wrong. Will they give a shit? Probably not. They don't seem like the kind of girls who would.
Well, it probably would help if you actually did, though.
If you did send us a DM on TikTok, we wouldn't know because you blocked us before you even posted this. So we didn't even get to see this on your page. We had to get sent this. I just want to jump in here and clarify super quickly that at the time of filming this, we were not under the impression that Katie had DM'd us because we checked our TikTok DMs, which of course we were blocked, so she wasn't in there. And then we checked our personal Instagram DMs because those are really the only accounts that we use, and even then we don't really use those. So we were just trying to find where she messaged us because she says she did. And at the time of filming this, we were like, well, I don't think she did, but it turns out she did actually message us. It was just on our podcast account that we don't really ever post on. Now, I had told her when I was messaging her back that I really didn't have an intention to use these messages because that did seem like something she was really concerned about. I think that maybe she felt like we were going to use the things that she was saying to try to make her look bad. And so I told her, I was like, I have no intention of using any of these messages. However, I will be needing to share some of these messages and you'll see why down the line, but most of them are going to stay private. I just have to share some of them because she lied to me in DM and in my opinion, tried to gaslight the crap out of me. And so we're going to discuss it. We're going to compare it to fact. We're going to do literal like experiments to see if what she was saying was truth. Because at this point, we're really not interested in ever talking about this woman ever again. So might as well just get to the bottom of it. So yeah, we will be sharing some of the DMs, but she did DM us. It was just on our joint podcast account.
I do want to address one thing that she had a big problem with. It seemed like one of her biggest problems was that I did do the update about what she could have potentially made, where it was speculation because I don't know what she made. Honestly, I don't really fucking care because clout goblins, guess what? You don't need to do it for money.
We said that. You don't need money. That's not even always the motive.
Yeah, you can just do it for attention too. Yeah. So it didn't really change anything for me or most people, I think. I just thought it was interesting because I had talked to a friend that was telling me their ad rates. What I did not know and what I texted Jessi about the day after our episode went up was that I had been clued in that apparently only videos that are watched on the For You page are considered qualifying views.
Which is insane.
So
that's so dumb.
Apparently TikTok does not pay you if someone like sought out your content and went to your profile to go watch it. That doesn't count. It has to come up just organically in their For You page, which that is insane to me. And I'm so sorry for all the TikTok creators out there. Because
horrible
that's bullshit.
System.
You're being penalized for people liking your content and seeking it out without being just fed it. That's absurd. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I was going to address that just because I think it's insane as a concept.
We have a track record, and whether people like the way we address something or not, we address shit if we get it wrong, period. Like, it just is what it is. That is a little bit iffy. We would have addressed it, but it's not even like you said, this is how much she made. You were clearly speculating, but like, okay, like fine, we got that wrong. Like, just say it. We're not allergic to that. It's not a big deal. We don't feel any kind of way about doing that.
Well, it certainly wasn't coming from a malicious, purposely spreading of misinformation. Girlie, I love to research research. Had I known that, do you think I would have recorded that? Because I'll tell you right now, I would not have.
To let you know what you will and will not see here on my page. Will I make you laugh? I hope so. Could I make you cry? I don't know, maybe. I like to be vulnerable. I like to talk about hard shit. Did I end up with 2 million followers after this entire escapade? Yes, we can all fucking look at my profile and see that. Should I never post again because of it? Is every post I make ever again from now on for the rest of time clout chasing? What would you like me to do?
Girlie, when did we tell you to never post again, or that everything, like, what are you talking about?
Okay, I think that what she's gathering
projecting
is that when her face dropped in that live stream, when she was told there was no dead body in the backyard, she proceeded to immediately go into, well, but this is everything that's happened, and like alluding to the fact that she's haunted. Her captions were saying like, okay, so there's no dead body, but like, who haunted me? And we wanted you to stop that personally. And the reason why I wanted you to stop that, in my opinion, and I'll just speak for myself, I don't know if you agree, is because the way you are handling situations that have to do with the paranormal world, with death, with true crime, and spoiler alert, we did see an interview where she was like very much so wanting, like she's like, maybe I'll start a true crime podcast, and like seemed giddy about it.
She said that
worries
me.
Times. That genuinely is something I believe you shouldn't do. Again, for the reasons we stated in the beginning. So I don't think you should stop making content. I think that this kind of content, this genre, is not one that would benefit from you covering it personally.
Well,
personally,
that's all. It's a little disingenuous to act right now in this video like you reverted back to making content about hardships. You didn't.
You didn't.
You literally pivoted to try and continue doing this coverage, which you yourself have admitted you've never done before. Don't act like we're coming for you for reverting back to the content you used to make, which I'm sure was lovely. We never talked about that.
Oh, but well, we did
now
briefly.
You're focused on this.
And it's important in a second.
We did bring it up. We acknowledged it.
Delete my TikTok and start over? I think that sounds silly. But let me tell you, I also think it's silly.
It's because
spend an hour and a half in the year of the Eras Tour to go onto a podcast to bully someone who you don't know, to bully someone who was absolutely fucking normal and had 5,000 followers 2 weeks ago and was posting about her miscarriage.
Okay, trying to be like, I'm just a normal girl. I didn't ask for this to happen. Yes, you did. You literally posted like dozens of videos to try and capitalize on this, which isn't a crime. I'm not even saying that. But like bringing up your miscarriage, girlie, are you kidding? We never said anything about that. And even actually defended you in the end of last episode because I heard that the psychic you were talking to made a really gross comment about it. I guess she hung up on the psychic and was like bashing her.
Oh, on live, right? You told me that.
Yeah, and it was like the psychic said that there was no body, but that the ghost she tried to say was like, and this is like understandable why she would hang up on the lady, because I guess you said earlier she had talked about like her pregnancy before and she had had a miscarriage and talked about that. I guess the psychic said that it was like her miscarried baby or something.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Jesus, that's
so
dark.
We had disagreed with you the entire episode, but we still were like, that's fucked. Don't do that. But then you're going to frame us as being these like malicious, mean girl bullies that came for you for like, no, that didn't happen.
The miscarriage was not a part of what we spoke about. And I want to play this for a few more seconds because the next sentence got me.
That's what you choose to do with your time. That's what you choose to do with your voice. That's what you choose to do with your platform. You do you, girls. It won't be here. It won't be happening here. So you can trust that anytime you see me on your feed, it will be fucking kindness. It will be laughter. It could be tears. It will be anything but bullying.
First of all, I don't know. There's another clip then where she says, if you would have basically just scrolled back a few TikToks or like whatever, you would have seen what I did before, which was talk about miscarriage and talk about hardships. That actually like really upset me. If you would have scrolled back on YouTube 2 seconds, you would have seen I had a miscarriage and made a video about it. Girlie, want to like just like play patty cake together? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, well,
that is not the topic of discussion.
What we're not going to do is use your trauma, which I'm sorry that happened to you. It shouldn't. I wish it didn't happen to anyone. But what we're not going to do is use that as a shield and way to villainize us when that was not part of the conversation, because it was not relevant to the conversation, because we were commenting on your behavior during this escapade, as you were referred to it, and not your content from before. Well, do you want to know what I do want to ask her, though, is if anytime we see you on our feed, you're going to be spreading kindness, does that also apply to the comments that you're interacting with? Because it seems to me they're not really practicing or encouraging what you're preaching, because you have acknowledged Jessi's trauma and past online drama, both of which none of your business and clearly you know nothing about.
Well, clearly she does, because when people asked her, is this the person that had beef, quote unquote beef with she who must not be named on this show? She was like, yep, correct. beef. I just found it interesting that you say things like, you can give a difference of opinion while still being kind and respectful. I disagree with people all the time. Doesn't mean you have to be vicious. Katie, is that why you liked comments calling us Is that why you liked that? Okay, so now is the point where I need to come in here and show some of her DMs because she did explain this to me, quote unquote, or she had an explanation rather of why she was interacting with comments positively that were calling us bitches and when she is preaching that we're the mean girls and we're bullies. So I called her out on that in my first message back to her, where I said, we would never call you annoying or make fun of your looks as that is actual bullying. However, positively interacting with comments about Jessi's trauma, people calling her a known liar, and comments calling us isn't very girl of you either. And she actually sent me a voice message trying to explain this. So I'll play that now.
But that comment that called you to the one girl, you know how in like your notifications, you can only see the first like sentence of a comment? I had only seen the beginning of it where they said, like, is it the girl that had drama with, and so when I said correct, I was saying correct to that. I didn't even know that the rest of the comment said that until I saw a screenshot of it, and I've tried to find it to delete it. I cannot find it in the however many comments there are. So lesson learned there, respond to comments like on the video so that I can read the whole thing versus just in the thread where I can see the first few words.
So at this point, I was confused because those are two separate comments, as you can see here. There's one that's referring to my quote unquote beef with someone, and then there's one calling us bitches and she responded to both of them, but I was referring to the second. Also, fun fact, she literally calls Lily the blonde girl.
I'm new to this. I did it when I was a kid, which I know the blonde girl like made fun of me for.
So congrats, Lily, you have a new nickname. Anyway, I sent her the two pictures of the comments to show her that they were separate comments. And she reiterates, as I just said, I couldn't see the part where I responded to the comment in my feed. I didn't see it until someone sent me that screenshot because I would have deleted the comment. Knowing that, I'm sure you will still twist it, and that's fine. And I said, hey Lily, why don't we do a little test? Because what she's talking about and what she's trying to use as an excuse for interacting positively with comments saying these things, which by the way, girl, like if you just want to like comments that call us that, like go off. Like we'll just call you a hypocrite and then we'll call it a day. But lying and being like, I had no idea what the whole comment says, you're lying and I'm annoyed now. Anyway, Lily and I did a fun little experiment where she commented on my TikTok, the exact comment. So as you can see here, they are the exact comment, and this is my mentions page, which is what she's referring to. You see that little reply there in the corner? You can reply from this page and you don't have to go to the actual post itself. So that's what she's saying she did. And she's right. There is a character limit. Like it'll eventually give you a little ... option if the comment is too long, but that doesn't apply here because you can see the full comment. The entire comment fits. She saw the full comment. She read the full comment. She answered back positively. And you know what, girl, go off. Like I said, stand by it. It's fine. But do I think you are a giant, massive hypocrite? Yes, I do. And do I think you only really deleted that because someone commented under it saying, wow, so you're literally calling people out for being mean girls, and then you're interacting with someone calling them see you next Tuesdays, and then I think you were like, oopsie, that doesn't look good, and then you deleted it? Yeah, that's what I think happened. And by the way, we double checked on desktop. It's the same exact thing. You could see the full message as you can see here. You could have stayed out of my DMs, quite frankly, and we could have just addressed this stuff publicly, but you just dug yourself a deeper hole because you lied to me and made me feel kind of stupid in the moment, but then after, kind of slay. I know she's gonna watch this and just be like, wow, so they did twist it. And you know what? At this point, I just don't care. It is what it is. The truth is the truth, and I'm out of here.
And for you to also comment on Jessi's, this commenter referred to it as her past beef with someone, I'm gonna hope that you know nothing about that situation and you were talking out of your ass, because I don't know, it seems like a weird take from someone that is all about like women empowerment and girls supporting girls.
There was one comment too that she liked that like I made so much money off of exaggerating my life stories, and I hope they're just talking about my story times, but I can't help but feel,
I know, I agree.
It just fucking makes me feel so icky.
Honestly, before I saw the one about the beef, which just like makes me viscerally angry because how dare you, I couldn't help but say, you know what, we shouldn't talk about her because clearly she's a clout goblin and just wants attention, because she has not just posted one video, she's gone live several times and also encouraged all these comments.
Yeah, it's kind of at this point, it's like, I was telling Lily, I'm like, if you want to see a clout goblin, it's like exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C. Like it is all the behavior that we were clocking personified.
Really interesting way to show people that you're not a clout goblin.
No, there's like, and listen, somebody speaks about you on their platform. Go ahead, girly, speak about us on your platform. It's not the speaking. That's not the issue. It's everything that followed and the continuous kind of like, you're still in your comments right now, blocking people and answering comments about us.
And misrepresenting what we said to dismiss any real criticism as being bullying when that's not what it was.
No,
like,
at all.
Come on, be so fucking for real. And when anyone corrected you on some of the things that maybe you didn't get quite right, then you blocked them. Anything that didn't fit your narrative that we were vicious, mean girls was just
nasty.
Nope,
and then
not happening
also
here.
in all your comments, like you're loving the ones that are insinuating that we're jealous of you because you have 2.2 million followers. Someone literally put, they're just jealous. And then someone commented, jealous of what? And then someone else replied, maybe the 2.2 million followers. And she liked that comment. And hey, Katie, I just want to introduce myself. I had way more than that on Vine. We have built way more than that over the course of our career. We know more than most people would understand that followers mean nothing. That's not a community.
Much less is it a way to like put yourself on a pedestal above other people, which you continually are doing by liking these comments. You're always going to be chasing something if that's what you're seeking.
And my favorite thing about my entire career is ditching followers and just being like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm starting again. It healed something in me. And I'm not even trying to be fucking dramatic. It just like, it shifts your perspective of what's important in life. And I just think you're in for a bumpy ride if all you're thinking is like, they're just jealous of me. No, girl, we thought some of the things you said were shitty and we call them shitty. And that's what, I mean, welcome to life. Sometimes when you put things out there, people are going to have opinions, which, by the way, really quick, I would love to play Meredith Lynch's TikTok because it seems that we're not the only ones. And I mean, it was obvious by our comment section. A lot of times we'll cover something and if we get it wrong, like we know, girl, like our freaking comment section, whether they are girlies or they're not girlies, they will rip us to shreds. Like they will let us know, bitches, you were wrong. And I love that.
And also going into this, like this wasn't like, ooh, we have a really unpopular opinion. These were things, most of which you even had addressed in a video that we reacted to because it was a common thing you were getting from a lot of people. But somehow when we talked about it, because maybe we were making light of some of the situations and used the term clout goblin, somehow that meant that we're like literally the most vicious, like we made you cry.
Yeah. This was living before I think our episode even went up. This was Meredith, who's a popular commentary channel on TikTok. This was her TikTok.
I want to invite you to have a healthy level of skepticism when it comes to rug talk. And I don't mean at first when she first found the rug rolled up in there. I mean now that we're running the little shop of horrors out of that house. And listen, I wasn't into rug talk and I'll tell you why. I felt it was weird. I thought she was too giddy. It made me uncomfortable. I was like, if there is the remains of someone in there, like imagine how you're going to feel. And I heard, and somebody has got to have the screenshot, that while all this was going on, she made merch and then she took it down. And I just thought like it just feels.
Oh boy, does someone have a screenshot. That's somebody's us.
Three different ones.
Yeah, we have three different. There was one that was a comment that says, I'm just here for the updates. One with the skull and shovel. And then the mom shit and murder, which was a huge issue we had of hers. Really quickly, before we continue, another huge issue that actually made me angry. It was that the realtors contacted the old owners. And then the daughter of the old owners was going to go to a nursing home. And she literally described it as this. And berate them for you, okay? For the audience. They'll berate them for you. And I know she was joking. It's still yucky and it's not right.
And they were all cremated. So she does not think there is a buried dog. So what is going to happen next, you impatient little bitches? She's going to drive her ass to the nursing home where her 90 and 95-year-old mother and father live and berate them for the answers for us. She is going to see what they know, and if they know what is in the rug and why the rug is there.
Leave them alone.
If you don't let those elderly angels rest in motherfucking peace, I just can't fucking understand how with a straight face she said that they're gonna go. Like, I know she's joking, right? Like, they're gonna go berate them for us, but I don't find it funny.
She is, but she's also, it's like, well, I mean, she's gonna ask them, but still.
And then, this is the line that fucking killed me, is she said, hopefully their dementia hasn't wiped their memory of the rug.
We have to wait for her to go see mom and dad at the nursing home and hope that their dementia has not wiped the memory of the rug.
And hope that their dementia has not wiped the memory of the rug.
Okay, you're on my shit list now, lady. It started off, you were just a little clout goblin. I can smell it. Now you're starting to piss me off. You hope the dementia didn't wipe away their memory of the rug? You are a witch. Like, what the fuck?
It's not that couldn't happen. Is that like there could be a body in this rug. But if there was, this is how you're treating it?
When I tell you fury was just what lived inside of me. And what's really fucking crazy is like, she is completely trying to justify all this shit. Now she's online. She's trying to justify everything. The merch, the dementia, everything. She's like, nobody has valid criticisms. Oh, girly, we got them. And none of your excuses or your fans' excuses make any of that okay. And the fact that you still right now do not admit that that was an insensitive, fucked up comment to me even more solidifies, don't touch true crime as a topic.
Yeah, and to justify that comment, instead of just like acknowledge, maybe I shouldn't have said that, which we say stuff that we later on are like, maybe I took that too far. Get caught up in the moment, I get it. But you still are doubling down and saying that you were allowed to make that comment, that wasn't a gross comment because your grandpa died with dementia. You've also joked about your own miscarriage in between crying. And then I think it's supposed to say, if my sense of humor isn't for everyone, that's fine. Just scroll on. Girl,
no.
Dark humor, that's a thing. I love dark humor. We have joked about our own trauma in the past, but you know what you don't do is use other people's trauma to be the butt of a dark joke. Because guess what? That's not your place.
No,
you
not
can joke about your own dark
at all.
shit. You don't talk about someone else's dark shit. And I feel like everyone knows that.
Well, yeah, you would think so. And what's really ironic about this comment is you didn't scroll on when our humor wasn't for you, when we're joking about the finger pricking little shop of horrors and cackling. That wasn't for you, right? But
no,
now
you spent 2 days online crying about it.
And not just crying. She's saying that is what they said verbatim that I did, which is a lie. But regardless, both my grandmothers had dementia and I've had a miscarriage. And I can't imagine looking at someone with a miscarriage and making a joke being like, well, but samesies, like I've gotten a DNC, like we're twins. No,
absolutely not.
And coming from someone whose grandmothers literally deteriorated in front of my eyes, it was the most traumatizing shit I've ever lived through. I found your comment to be fucked up. And so did so many people who were in our comments saying, holy shit. The reason I actually got this comment, by the way, is because someone whose loved one has dementia, and I don't want to say a lot about their story, commented that to you because they were really, really hurt by your comment. And this was your response to them, basically saying, I have the right to. You don't. We're here to tell you don't. And that's why we called you on. That's why I was straight up fucking angry. When you said that, I was like, gross. This started as like, oh, what's this, silly rug series to like, this lady is deeply offensive. What is happening?
That's the thing is there were different levels to our critique because did we have opinions that you were just handling it gross and it was kind of cringy? Yeah, we did. We're entitled to that. And I know you're probably not going to like that, but sorry. A lot of people don't like us either, yourself included.
Oh, believe me.
But so then there was also the other levels to this where it was like, that's actually just a really insensitive, gross comment, like objectively. And you're defending those. And then also I have pulled up right here another screenshot where you, again, back to where she apparently said that we lied about her pricking her finger and causing the dogs to mark. So someone comments and says, what were the wildly incorrect facts? And to that, I was like, I'm curious as well. Like, what did we get wrong? Because we really weren't spewing facts. Like, we were just reacting to her content. And she said that I used my own blood to get them to sit. Girly, come on. You don't think that. Like, we did not say that.
I think she does think it.
We did not say that seriously. Come on. But then she goes on to say that apparently we also spewed incorrect facts that she lied about her live money being stolen and that she lied about how much she made. I speculated about how much she made, which I've already corrected myself. I understand it was significantly less than that because I didn't know the certain parameters of TikTok's earnings. But girly, did you miss the part where I literally retracted any like skepticism that you did get robbed during my update when I was speculating about the other money? Because it feels like you just tuned that out. What I've seen from a lot of people is that everyone thinks she's lying, which honestly, I was on board with that too. But I did look into it a little more, and she does say specifically that it was the live stream revenue. So it was the money she made from her live. Apparently that money does not go into the same place as the money you would be making just from your normal videos, which used to be called the Creator Fund, but now I guess it's called the Creativity Program. So any revenue that you make through the Creativity Program, that goes into one pot. And then the revenue that you make from your live streams and from your gifts, aka like rewards, I guess, that goes into a different pot. And that money apparently is accessible not immediately, I don't think, but like almost immediately, while the Creativity Program revenue, that you need to wait until the 15th. And it also takes a few days to process, I guess, because the ads and views, I don't know. So that, it's a little delayed. The gifts, apparently you can cash out pretty right away. So that, I guess, is what she's saying that was stolen, which sure, we can believe that now. But she also does remain pretty vague about how much she's making on the other end. Remember the money that went into that different pot? I literally said, I do believe you. So,
yeah, at this point, when she's spewing things like that and she's on live reiterating it and we have recordings of that, at this point, you are lying and you're knowingly lying because anything that we quote unquote lied about, either we were purely joking or very obviously speculating on, or literally were retracted in the same very video. So in my opinion, if you really sat through that video, and you obviously did, especially during the update, if you know about the whole money thing, then now you are lying. Like, you are now telling your followers that we are spreading all this shit about you when you know that that's not what happened. Girl, you could have just taken it as like, they don't like me, and move on with your day. And this was so unnecessary, because now what is this? Like, literally, I just feel like exhausted by it. And I'm just like, this is gross. Like, why the fuck are we here doing this right now? Like, this could have all been an email.
It could have just not happened. But first of all, if we had really hurt your feelings and said something that was like, that went too far, that was rude and really unnecessary, I would have been in your DMs apologizing and saying, I'm so sorry, I got carried away.
Because at the end of the day, she's painting us as people that are bullies, which to me, but like, we didn't attack your appearance or your voice or something like that. We didn't attack any of that. We attacked your decisions that you made online that made your actions seem really icky to us. That was our opinion on your actions. You have a right to not agree with us, but to paint us as people that were telling you like, you're fucking disgusting, you're just a shitty person, you're this and come on. Like, we're not trying to interfere with anything. We're not trying to, what is it Chelsea says? Touch the poop in the petting zoo or whatever the fuck. Like, don't touch the shit. We're not trying to do that. We were just doing our jobs, which is to talk about shit on the internet, which was you. And then very soon after, it would have not been you anymore. It would have just been something else, and you didn't have to like it. But what is this? And specifically this, what I'm looking at right now, is the comment that she left on YouTube on our episode of her that was very quickly deleted. And I mean, admittedly, it does look like it was made a bit hastily, you could say. She says, "This is the most absurd video I have ever seen. So much incorrect information being spread by two women hopping on a viral moment while at the same time accusing me of chasing clout. FYI, you don't get paid from any views from your personal page, only FYP views. I made in total $5,000 fucking dollars from the creativity fund."
Well, and also that had no bearing on the rest of our opinions. Like, even furthermore proved by, I filmed that as an update because we didn't even comment on how much she made beforehand. So it's like, we still had all those opinions before I thought that you made an absurd amount of money. And guess what? Still have them now that I learned you probably didn't make that much.
She continues on to say, "I would absolutely love to send you the screenshots of my creativity fund. Your calculations are horseshit, girls. I started TikTok to talk about pregnancy and miscarriages. If you take 4 seconds to scroll back on my page, this is where the scrolling thing came. I now have 2 million followers. Would you prefer I never post again so I don't quote unquote clout chase? I truly can't fathom my platform existing purely to bring other women down." And I texted Lily, I was like, hey, we bring women and men down. Get out of here.
No, so that's, we voiced this feeling a lot, is that we can't stand when people try and hide behind women should be supporting women.
Not if they're nasty.
In situations where they deserve support, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed to criticize someone's behavior or actions because they're also a woman. We do try to very much look at things as like situational and like we're trying to be objective about our opinions on certain things.
Even if it's little compartments in each topic. Like Reinventing Elizabeth, we had a big issue with her faking cancer, allegedly, which was like pretty much confirmed. But that really didn't negate the fact that she was being abused by that man, and like he seemed really, really scary. And we are able to compartmentalize and have opinions on different things.
And it also played into the fact that like there is no perfect victim. So situations are nuanced. And us criticizing your behavior here had nothing to do with the content you made before or any of the content you'll make about that in the future, because that wasn't part of the conversation. We were talking about your behavior regarding this specific situation, which doesn't define you as a person. And it's not a crime to be a clout goblin. But again, it's just tacky, and we thought it was tacky. And if you disagree, that's fine. But then stand by that instead of trying to villainize us and act like you are just this innocent, normal girl that we attacked for no reason.
And again, liking comments like this that say, I would say call them bitches out, but then they get what you have. Fuck them, mean. You rock. I loved the Rugs adventure. And she literally replied and said, that's why I didn't name them. And it's like, that's not
upside down
shitty.
Smiley face.
Yeah, that's not mean. Like, that's mean. And we didn't ever dare like anything that would call you a bitch, or nor would we ever support our audience saying anything like that.
Before we go any further, we have a word from one of our favorite sponsors, or at least mine, ZocDoc.
If you guys don't already know, ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment.
It caters to your phone anxiety or your emergency need for appointments, both of those have come in handy for me.
Yeah, Lily has notoriously found her dentist that has helped her out a lot through ZocDoc, so that's been amazing. But with ZocDoc, we are talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty. Mental health, dental health, eye care, skin care, all of that.
And you can sort through it with your insurance, your location, plus the appointments happen fast. Usually you can get one booked in 24 to 72 hours.
Yeah, and sometimes you can even get some same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and head over to ZocDoc.com/DWKT to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/DWKT.
And thank you so much to ZocDoc for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. We have opinions, we joke, we whatever, but the way that you interacted with certain comments was like over the line.
And just wild to be from someone that is simultaneously saying, you're only gonna find kindness on my page. These women are tearing down other women. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, and also her comment, like talking about my beef with that one creator was also like, oh, didn't you have beef with this person, and went on and on about bullying and mean girl shit? No, that's not what I went on about. And everybody fucking know, like, come on. Like, it's just, she's preaching one thing and then acting in complete opposite way, and I find it disingenuous, which, I fear I clocked. Like, come on, girl. We just smelled it from the beginning and you're mad we clocked it, and it is what it is. It's fine. But anyway, we have one particular comment that is so fucking bizarre, because if you guys don't know this, Lily is, she was a big fan of One Tree Hill. I've never seen the show.
This one, I was like, what is going on? I want to take a second to go back to that. That's why she didn't name us, because apparently she didn't want us to be able to, get any of her clout. Are you sure that that's why? Or did you also maybe not want to direct people to this horrible podcast that was us bullying you for almost 2 hours? Because we weren't, and people would go watch it and realize that you're kind of misrepresenting the situation a little bit.
A little bit,
instead.
yeah.
So instead, you didn't link anything, which you didn't have to, but maybe be a little more honest about what was said in the video and why we had the opinions we did, instead of just acting like we're vicious mean girls. Because then it's going to result in people like Sophia Bush, for example. Seeing this video and taking your word that we're just these disgusting, horrible people that are only existing to tear you down, apparently. And she's going to believe that and take it at face value. And her response...
Insane.
I wrote, I was like, oh, Brooke Davis, come on. Sophia Bush comments on her video about us and our bullying. And she says, you'll never get used to it. I'm 20 years into this. You're a public figure. You signed up for it. Dumpster. And I'm still not used to it. But what we don't do is cede territory to terrorists. Nope.
Not the terrorism.
And then she does the heart hands emoji.
Not the heart hands emoji. I have never terrorized. Well, I've terrorized a few things, but I am no terrorist. That is quite the accusation, Sophia Bush.
Well, it was just like a little harsh. Tell me you didn't watch the podcast without telling me you didn't watch the podcast, girlie. Like, come on.
Terrorist cunts. This is just quite the accusations, honestly.
But then in another comment, this was my favorite. This is totally not clout goblin behavior at all. Someone says, screw mean girls. People will find a way to be rude about literally anything. And she says, to go make money off being mean while calling said person you're talking about a clout chaser, it's bonkers. First of all, I don't think we were being very mean, but even if we were, for sake of argument, that doesn't mean you can't be a clout goblin.
And I just think that it's like so stupid to just write us off as like, oh, they just get money for being mean. Or like this comment right here that I'm looking at that says, they legit wouldn't have a job if there was nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either would news
anchors
stations,
if
okay.
like news didn't happen. Like what? Like they are the ones clout chasing, not you. You're an icon. Okay, well, that's an opinion. And then she says, right, their whole job is bandwagoning off of other people, but they're not the clout goblins. It's different to have opinions on things happening, which again, if we were clout goblins, girl, we have some topics we would hit. And there's topics that we don't hit because we don't want clout. Clout is attention, negative, positive. You just want it. You just want to munch on it.
It's also something that can be and usually is very fleeting. And that's not what we've ever tried to do with our careers.
We don't want it. We don't want more people watching if it means all the bullshit that comes with that. Is like, oh, like, give us more. Like, give it. No, we just want like a chill audience who like, hey, we're here twice a week. Like,
if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I don't know why you would sit through an 1.5-hour episode if you didn't like it, but sure. Still on the topic though of Sophia Bush. And also, again, this is totally not clout goblin behavior. She responds to that with saying that said person talking about clout chaser, it's bonkers. Then the person who left the comment just says, no, literally. You would think that maybe is where that thread ends, because what else is there to say? Well, Katie chimes in and says, P.S. Sophia Bush casually commented on one of these comment threads with a skull and crossbones emoji.
Girl,
Girl,
I'm happy for
kidding?
you. And I just hope you gobbled that comment up, which you did because you reposted it on your Instagram story and said, the queen herself in my comment section with a heart. So really quickly, I want to jump over to the live streams that she did. Again, she went live twice. We couldn't see it. We were blocked. And sadly, I don't have a burner TikTok account. That's kind of embarrassing. I feel like everyone has one, but we did get sent quite a few screen recordings. And so this was one of them.
People will really be like, she's chasing clout. Good idea for now, yeah. But one day you'll get it. If you stick around long enough, you will get it. When's the lady doing the reading at my house? I'm not going to say the day that she's coming here because my address is out there to some and I don't want anyone to like show up here and, for everyone's safety. But yeah, she's coming soon and it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited.
Some friendly advice separate from all of this. Not a very good idea to tell people that your address is out there because if people didn't know, you're telling them that they can find it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You came for the rug but stayed for my personality. Those are my favorite. I love people who were here before the rug. Actually, you know what I love is people who were like, I saw you during the rug and I didn't follow you until after because like they liked my personality.
By the way, these screen recordings are courtesy of Jessi Suarez, who absolutely was spamming her chat with, why'd you block Lily? Why'd you block Lily? Until she got muted. And honestly, that's a friend if I've ever seen one.
What was the misinformation on the podcast? Where do I start? They said that I pricked my finger and put my blood, and that was what to
the
get
way Cece erases her comment that she was typing to write that was
the
a
dog.
joke.
That I must have. The only reasonable explanation
panic
is that
typing.
I made myself bleed, and that is how the dog sat.
And literally, that was multiple people. So someone had said before her, like that was a joke, and then she addresses that.
So first off, not true.
They were joking. No, they did not.
And then they said that I made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Also not true. They didn't say that. They were making jokes. That is what they said. What?
No.
You're lying. And the episode's still up, girl. You said, I just had a thought. What if? And then I said, oh my God, like she pricked her finger like Little Shop of Horrors. We literally said after that, no. Like you were like, no, that didn't happen. I was like, I would be shocked if that happened. Like, that is seriously just another world. I would be so shocked.
I'm not accusing her of doing that.
But we're just exploring, just like she explored several theories.
She's a big theory girl.
Yeah,
so.
we're just looking into it.
And then I continued the joke where it's like a hypothetical. It's like, but what if she did? And then also there's people commenting being like, SMH, that's crazy. Yeah, that was the joke.
Can you imagine if they would have found her blood? Like, I think you would get in trouble with like wasting police time.
Girl,
like, come on.
I thought you were a clout goblin. I don't think you're like fucking staging a crime scene to like get it. Come on.
The entire podcast was just being mean. They didn't say one nice thing about me.
I think that's true.
We're not obligated to say nice things about you.
Like, I was like trying to search. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I did not say one nice thing about her. I'm sorry. I guess I couldn't find
did you want
something.
us to be like, she's really pretty, but I didn't like her attitude.
Yeah, you are really pretty. It was irrelevant to the conversation.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, what compliments would have made it okay?
Nice teeth,
like, if
but
we
also
had maybe
don't joke about dementia. Like, you can't. That's not what we do. We're not compliment sandwiching you. Like, we have opinions and we're gonna raw dog them. Like, it is what it is.
And would that have made this any different? Would that have been okay if we were like, you're really pretty, but we didn't like how you handled this, but you're really pretty?
Yeah, fuck that. That's not how we do the show, girl.
But yeah, I'm actually not going to give them any more attention because they made a whole hour and a half podcast talking about me, calling me a clout goblin, but they talked about me for an hour and a half. So like,
and it did the worst any of our episodes have done. I'm just so annoyed. I'm literally like,
also, the episode wasn't about you. Your name's not even in the title. Your face isn't even in the thumbnail because it was about the rug. Honestly, like, this isn't trying to be mean. I'm just saying, literally, this is because of the situation you had procured for yourself. She even acknowledged in this same live stream that she loves it when people say that they followed her for her personality. So you're implying that a lot of people didn't follow you for your personality. They followed you for the fucking rug drama.
This one, apparently she says we are all clout chasers.
You hated their take. Their take was just ridiculous. And my whole thing is that here's my question. To call me a clout chaser, my question is, does anyone come on social media, make a post and say, man, I hope nobody sees it?
No.
That's not the same.
Actually, I think that there's some people like that. But also, I think that there's value in learning what an audience and a community. Like what the difference is between people who are looking to you as a spectacle and a quick entertainment, just something to just pass by, check up on. And I will admit the rug thing got big. A lot of people cared about it and then they just didn't. And I think that there's a lot of people that maybe stuck around, and I'm not even trying to like wish this for her. I just like, I've seen this a lot of times where it's fleeting. It's something that you got a lot of attention for. And over time, that's why you see accounts that have millions of followers. And we say this all the time. TikTok is like super fleeting. It's like even more fleeting than any other social media, where people will have millions of followers and like 1,000 likes. And it's just like, oh.
Again, trying to be like, oh my God, well, am I just never supposed to post again? No.
You brought up that. Such a good comparison when it's like the mom that's like, well, I guess I'm such a bad parent. Like, no, we're not saying
when you like criticize one thing, suddenly it's like everything is wrong. I'm like, no, you're okay. Reel it back, girl. Like, come on. We didn't say that. Again, we can have differing opinions. If you thought we had shit takes, we had shit takes.
Period. Go for it.
To categorize them and dismiss any valid criticism, whether or not you believe in it or you thought you deserved it, but like it was criticism that was because of something you did. It was not just like us being mean. The fact that you're gonna just lump all of that in together as bullying and not acknowledge any of the stuff, like at least have the balls to acknowledge all of that stuff and say, I stand by it. 10 toes down. No, you didn't. You're just saying that we were mean.
And it's honestly, it's evident because when she gets confronted with the dementia, when she gets confronted with the merch drop, which again, she took down, but that was very much something she tried to profit off of. It's absolutely bizarre. And this is a screenshot that actually addresses that because people were inquiring about our valid criticisms, which was like, why drop merch? Someone said, can I just ask why you made merch before knowing if there was a body in there? I get not thinking there was something there, but other people did. I don't know. It just seemed a little icky. To which Katie replies, again, in my mind, there was no body. I never would have planned to dig out the rug myself if I thought I was going to come across a human. I said it over and over again that there wouldn't be a body. You didn't. You said, fingers crossed, no body. Fingers crossed, no body. That was your famous quote. That's literally what you said.
And you know what else you said in this news interview that I saw you doing? Which I'm not saying you shouldn't have done the news interview, but I do think it's a little interesting that in it, you talk about like, you hope that this was all for a bigger reason because this was before you found out that there wasn't a body. And you say that you hope that it could be like I believe it was like a godlike way for you to help another family and give them some closure.
My whole soul, it just always wants to help. And so maybe this was some insane God way of my TikTok bringing closure to someone. That would be absolutely incredible. I hope that there's not a body in there. Fingers crossed.
Closure on what?
No body in there, so why would you provide closure?
There being a body from a murder?
It's fucking BS. That's the thing is that I don't like this. You said a lot of shit. We had an issue with it. And now this is your explanation for those things. And then you simultaneously get on and be like, well, they have no valid criticisms. No, you have no answers to our criticisms.
Well, and you're cherry picking and backtracking on certain stuff you said because now you realize it doesn't make you look that good. And it doesn't really fit this whole narrative you're trying to push about how you are just a purveyor of kindness. I don't know what came before this, but she answers a comment that says, I answered your question nicely. I think there's a difference between self-defense / others defending me, others defending you, like calling us cunts.
Yeah.
I don't know if
that's a defense.
Call it that, but
not
sure.
a great one.
And two women shit-talking me on a podcast for over an hour, but that's just my opinion. Well, guess what? That was just our opinion. If you didn't think there was a body down there, well, you fooled the 2 million people that were clued in thinking there was. And you also don't talk about that when you're talking about how you hope that this was going to bring someone closure. That's wild.
I'm not going to apologize for clocking something and then this completely just solidifying it. But I do want to just highlight really quickly, there's another podcast that is apparently these two girls who just covered the rug situation. And because she didn't name which podcast she was talking about, people literally went to their page and harassed them. And like in the Year of the Eras tour, like really? Like no,
okay,
but seriously,
what even
it's just,
that?
Come on. Like, just say shit with your chest. We said it with our chest. And honestly, I stand by the shit that I said. We got a little goofy with it, sure. But at a certain point, I was in disbelief. Like what Meredith Lynch said, you were giddy. That's how I felt. And I think that a lot of people in Meredith's comments and in our comments, like the People magazine, like, oh, I have People magazine with the smirk. Like people were literally like, holy shit, when she said that sentence. Like
you were reveling in it.
Yeah. And people got the icky feeling and a lot of people didn't. And congratulations on whoever didn't and wants to like stick around to her content. I'm not telling you not to follow her. I don't give a shit. But this was, in my opinion, disingenuous. It was mischaracterizing what we said about you. You didn't address any of the criticisms. It was a cop-out. We had strong opinions about what we believe to be strong behaviors that were condemnable, period. We're not holier than thou. We've made a million mistakes in our career, but our whole point is to analyze what's happening on the internet. We did that. And if we have a problem with it, we say it. If we don't, and we praise the person who's putting it out, that's our thing too. Like we're not mean or not mean. Like this podcast is literally our first reactions most of the time to seeing this content. And that's what people stick around for. So I don't appreciate any of this, to be honest. It's one thing for us to just be like, oh, that's just our opinion. A lot of people agreed. There was this one comment on our page that I think just is profound, and it's anecdotal, of course, so take it with a grain of salt. But someone said, as someone whose loved one passed and the next owners of the home tried to make a quote unquote haunted story of my loved one's death, I'm deeply disgusted by the way she talked about her neighbor. So fucking callous and gross. And I think callous is the word that really resonates with me, where I'm just like, dude, yes, it felt so like there was a layer covering her humanity that made me feel uncomfortable. And if that makes me a bitch for saying that I didn't appreciate the way that you handled it and like joking and calling you a clout goblin, which I objectively think is unserious and funny, sorry, sue me. I don't know. Then I'll take it. I'll be the bitch. We're the two bitches. I always say that. Two bitches, me and you. We're the only ones left.
And Jessi, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm just reiterating this. This is not word for word verbatim fact. Word on the street is that not only was she just being kind of like gross about the neighbor and like really acting like it wasn't a real person. Apparently, she has continued down that narrative because, again, we said that she's now tried to pivot and continue to capitalize on this audience so she doesn't lose it. So she's trying to give them what they want. Apparently, she's continued speculating about this haunting from her neighbor and called the lady a hoarder.
Oh.
Said that it was her, like she knew because she looked in the window before and it was gross.
You mean an elderly woman who passed away by herself, so she obviously didn't have help, and so it would have been very difficult for her to upkeep. And even if she did have a hoarding issue, that is a mental health problem that it's really nasty to speculate on. Hey guys, just jumping in here really quick to let you know that she is still doing this. She is still currently right now, as of yesterday when we're posting this, continue to talk about her elderly neighbor who passed away, who I'd like to remind everyone that she did not know. She never met this woman. She had no personal connection to her, yet she has continued to use her death as a way to hook people to still be interested in her haunting story that she made up, in my opinion.
Get ready with me to go on a podcast. I'm feeling very excited, very appreciative, and I just really wanted to say thank you to anyone who has enjoyed my storytelling. When I was a kid, my nickname was Action News. Literally since before I can remember, I have been a yapper. I love to talk. I like to build relationships. It is my passion. It is what I do for a living. Did I think finding a rug 13 years after I had quit the entertainment industry was going to potentially change the trajectory of my life? No. Am I now oddly appreciative of my ghostly neighbor that decided to shatter my computer and bring me to all of you? Yes. I went from being very pissed at the neighbor ghost to very appreciative, very understanding. She's very demure. She had bigger plans for me.
And just one of the comments on this post says, did she go from spirit to angel? To which Katie replies, ha 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 ha, yes. Girl, this lady does not know you. She passed. Leave her alone. This is so weird. Just stop. We can't make shows thinking that the people we're discussing are going to watch it, because we are human beings. I'm a mother. I'm someone that does have a lot of empathy, and if I thought about it that way, it would be harder to be honest about my opinions, because like I will not confront someone in my real life if you put a gun to my head.
And that is the reason we have built a following, is because we do give our honest opinions, and sometimes those do miss the mark. In this case, I don't think they did, and you have kind of gone on to prove that our opinions about you in this situation, you're showing that it's very much who you are. So like, good luck.
Yeah, best of luck to you. We'll leave it off with you talking about your claim to fame, which was you. This was something we knew before we filmed our last episode, and we kept it to ourselves, which was very difficult. But we knew that you were in the Miley Cyrus Salvia video. Do you guys remember it? I literally think that that was like a canon event in my life. The Miley Cyrus video, which was not salvia. She was definitely just smoking a bong with weed. But the video that was leaked of Miley Cyrus smoking, well, turns out homegirl Katie Santry was in the back eating cornflakes. Isn't that something? That's something that would happen to just any random person, not a clout goblin.
Well, and also her description of the entire scenario, very totally not
worth a watch,
something a clout goblin would do. But also, just want to remind everyone that Katie is very serious about kindness and just be kind to everyone. Don't tear down women.
No, not women.
She's a kind soul.
This is from her Instagram story that says, my true claim to fame. I'm the one in the corner eating a box of cornflakes. This was at my boyfriend at the time's house. Ha ha ha. Good times, LA. And it was a repost of Miley Cyrus.
Wow. Miley posting that just takes me back. Can I just say, that was at my boyfriend at the time, Miles' house. And he was friends with like a lot of the Disney stars, and so was I, because I worked with the Jonases, and he did commercial acting, and I could not stand Miley Cyrus. She was so obnoxious. I mean, watch that video. I literally couldn't stand her. Like, I was in the room because it was Miley Cyrus.
I'm sorry. I think I just fucking literally just choked on the fucking irony. I'm sorry. I would love to point out that also Miley Cyrus was a teenager at that time. She was a kid. I just want to like get an example of how to treat women from this, obviously.
I just want to reiterate that she leads by volunteering this information that no one asked for.
No one asked.
About not just that she's in this video, that she hated Miley Cyrus. She couldn't stand her. But why would you hang out with someone you can't stand, might you ask? Well, because she's Miley Cyrus.
I was in the room because it was Miley Cyrus, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, she's sitting on my boyfriend's bed, but I couldn't stand her. But the coolest thing was when I introduced myself to her, she knew who I was, and I about shit myself because I was shocked that she knew who I was. I was kind of like standing in the corner eating my cornflakes, and when she yelled at me, was like, give me those cornflakes, I was scared. I was like, fuck, Miley asks for my cornflakes. She can have my cornflakes. Like, and then she's like, I'm just kidding. I was like, I'd almost had a fucking heart attack. But the girl who recorded it worked with me at Cambio, and she was also BFFs with Demi Lovato. And she is the one, I think, who sold the video. She was a really shitty friend. She basically was that girl who was friends with Miley and Demi and was just trying to ride on their coattails and go to the cool parties and hang out with the cool celebrities. She was a piece of shit. So I love that Miley posted that. I remember the day after that party, I got a call from TMZ and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck do I do?
It says on the screen, TMZ called me the next day, basically said if I give them my boyfriend's number for more details, they would black my face out so I didn't get in trouble from Mr. Jonas, which I happily did. You know what I love in this video is the part where she doesn't correct that she ever liked Miley Cyrus after that. It was just like, I fucking hated her. She was so loud and obnoxious. And then she just like ends the story.
She literally is like, I hated her, but I hung out with her because, I mean, she was a celebrity. That's pretty cool.
So cool.
But you know what? This other girl that I used to work with, she would hang out with these people just to go to the cool parties because they were celebrities. That's fucked.
Yeah, girl. It would be a cold day in hell when I roll over and say sorry for calling you a clout goblin because everything that I have seen has just been, again, exhibit A, B, C. You know what, Katie? I wish you well because this journey on the internet, it's not easy for any of us. And our intention on the show is not to drag anyone down. It's just to talk about what's happening and give our opinions. So, you know, hope to never see you again on this show, to be honest.
I mean, this still would have been a little far in my opinion, but even if you had made this video saying how we were mean, fine. Bullying, I felt like very much mischaracterized it. And then the bringing up the miscarriage very much also mischaracterized it. You did a lot of mischaracterization throughout. I'm referring to throughout the video and the multiple live streams and the hundreds of comments you were interacting with. But had you just stopped after the first video even and not said the miscarriage stuff, genuinely, I would have been like, ooh, shit. And like, I felt a little bad. Watching you do whatever this was for the last 3 days, that was insane. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we've had a lot of interesting reactions from covering people. Yeah, this one takes the cake, I think. And also, please do not go and send this woman hate. Like, this is just our response to what she was saying. We wanted to clear it up on our platform, but like, we don't want this back and forth. We don't want people going there and try to defend us. Let's just all move on, shall we?
And like any speculation we had that we weren't, we got weird vibes. Katie, you have confirmed them. So this will be the last time we are speaking about you.
Sayonara, queen. Okay, moving on to a mini topic, if you will, just to end this, and then we'll do our We Love the Internet. Lily just sent this to me before we started the show, and I was like, oh, the girlies are fighting. Speaking of clout goblins, no, I'm just kidding, but CCR, I mean the queen.
Lindsay Shaw and Tamron Sursok, they had announced that they were doing this Pretty Little Liars podcast. It was called the Pretty Little Podcast. The drama here was that that was the name they chose, but it turned out there was already a Pretty Little podcast. Actually, it turned out, upon my research, there were several Pretty Little podcasts before that. There was one in particular that went viral because they accused Podco, which is Christy Carlson Romano's podcast company that produced it. They accused Podco of basically stealing from smaller creators because they could. And we had some opinions in that episode that those girls didn't really like.
Yeah, and they had like not great opinions of us back. And then like we said a few things back and then we were all like, okay, bye. Like, you know, we could go tit for tat a little bit.
But so after that little like hiccup with the title, it did actually result in Lindsay Shaw and Tamron Sursok getting the name of their podcast changed. So it turned into like Pretty Little Liars True Crime. Another tie in here. I never saw an episode, haven't really thought about it since. But imagine my surprise when I see that the podcast has been canceled. something that I feel like we can all rejoice over. Girls from the Pretty Little Podcast, here's to you.
Yeah, you see, we're coming together in this moment. But also, Lindsay Shaw and CCR are notoriously linked in certain ways. Like, I feel like they were
Dramatic
friends.
and problematic.
Yeah, well, like, we knew that they were friends. But also, Pretty Little Podcast, True Crime, or whatever the fuck the name is, that wasn't even their only podcast. She did the Ned's Declassified podcast as well. And CCR's whole thing is getting people to try to, like, relive their nostalgic shows. So this is pretty big.
She's a clout goblin for other people's trauma and bringing up
that's like, what feeds
millennial
her soul.
Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
As my darling co-star Tammin wrote, the Pretty Little Liars podcast is over, and so is the Ned's Declassified podcast for now. Podco has decided to do their own thing, so we will not be associated with them in any type of way any longer. Yeah, it's been fun doing Pretty Little Liars and Ned's Declassified. It isn't our choice to end it. It's really all them. So send any questions or comments you have to their inboxes.
Oh my God.
That's Christy Carlson Romano and Brendan Rooney for Podco. Okay.
You know, it's super conflicting because, like, not a fan of Lindsay Shaw, but this, she kind of ate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess straightforward to the
Only
point.
because of my disdain for CCR. But, like, I am so curious. I'm like, what happened? You have to wonder, was it, like, a professional feud that went on? Or, like, was there something personal that stemmed?
I mean, it sounds weird to say even, like, they're deciding to go a different way because it's like, where the fuck are you going to go without, like, the people from the podcast that you broke up with? You know what I mean? Like, you're just not wanting to do the podcast anymore. I will say, do I think it's a good thing Ned's Declassified podcast is done? Yeah, I do. That was a problematic podcast. That was the worst. And if I had to hear about Lindsay Shaw being horny one more time, I was going to lose it. So honestly.
Well, no, but also problematic because of the whole Drake Bell conversation that they had, remember?
Yeah. Well, like a billion things that they did, like forcing their guests to be sexual and stuff. But yeah, the Drake Bell thing was one of the worst things that they did.
To that, I would have said maybe that like caused the decline and they like didn't really want to associate, like that's why they canceled it. But the fact that they canceled her other podcast as well makes me think that there was some kind of like personal rift.
We covered that so long ago. I can't imagine this just happened.
I know, but maybe there was just like kind of continued fallout and they made the decision not to. But again, they made the decision to cancel both of her podcasts.
As problematic as Lindsay Shaw is, and as much as I personally, she's not my cup of tea, I do hope that she, just unleashes a little bit on all the tea on CCR. That would be quite a treat.
The vibe of this Instagram story just really, it did bring me some satisfaction.
Yeah, like, she knows some
is
shit.
Being shady as fuck, and I love it. But I did want to look up really, really quick if they canceled other shows.
Not them going out of business.
Going a different direction is such a weird thing to say for a production company. Interestingly, not any articles coming up at all. From any time after April of this year, which is when Christy Carlson Romano was saying that she basically had been asked to be in the Quiet on Set, or like implied that, even though it was about Nickelodeon and she was on Disney. There's not even any articles about these two podcasts ending, so
I will definitely be waiting for it. Okay, shall we do We Love the Internet?
Awfully quiet.
This has been quite a journey.
I think that could have been my We Love the Internet, but yes, I'll find another. So I'm just gonna assume, rightfully so, that you're a fan of The Parent Trap, as is everyone.
Yes. There's a bear shit in the woods.
I saw this and I'm like, I hope I'll be able to get rid of the music in the background, but it's someone reenacting a scene from The Parent Trap, and I don't know how to describe it besides a masterpiece.
Oh my gosh.
Sideways with your chin up? Yeah, I see the problem. Can I have the veil? Hey, darling. Pass me one of those hats on display in the window. Yes. Which one do you like?
The white one.
Me too. Try this. Now throw the veil straight back. That's it. Now spin around. I want to see the back of the dress. That's beautiful. Did you get that? Just how it falls just down there. Don't worry about the bouquet. You're married now. You've got to learn to juggle. Don't forget to look happy. It is your wedding day.
My mom is too cool. I'll never let you go. Never let you go.
Yeah, that was an amazing recreation. Does he have a twin though?
No. It was all just green screen.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
But the fact that this that you were able to capture like the exact like giddy nostalgia I had during that scene. It's the facial expressions, timeless.
Oh my God, that reminds me so much of Alex, because like he's always dressing up in drag basically on the internet. It's just, I love it. Okay, mine also has music, but if we get copyrighted, it should be easy to replace with some hip hop. I just need you to see this lady's floor work because it's so impeccable. But anyway, the caption says mom reveal. Why do I think this is like Linda on the dance floor?
Y'all ready for something new? Did somebody say just
Not the shoes.
The footwork.
Look at that. You at the Sabrina Carpenter tour.
Literally. Oh my God.
The shoes took me out, because you know she brought those shoes just so she could fucking break it down, and I love that so much for her, and I want to party with her so bad.
That's like a step beyond like going barefoot and like drunk dancing, like dirty feet. That's, you were prepared.
Oh no, and I love that. And you know she's prepared for everything. We just need to hang out with her.
The sleeves
somehow.
also
We'll
just
figure
really
it out.
added a flair.
Anyway, I need
Literally.
to take off this wig so severely that it's not even funny. But anyway, if you guys stuck around for this one, we appreciate it. Thank you for hearing us out.
Sorry if it was too much bitching for you, but
sometimes we gotta bitch. It is what it is. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/do-we-know-them. We would really appreciate it. And
become
that's
a
it,
goblin
girlies. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always, we will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.
Cheers.